Hello, I'm Michael Rashad. This video, and the file that accompanies it, is for people new to FileMaker, and who have likely come from the spreadsheet world, where things are done very differently. Programming in FileMaker requires a paradigm shift in the way one thinks, and it isn't easy to make that transition. Key concepts such as normalized data using primary keys and minimizing data entry are alien. Understanding and accepting that in FileMaker everything is connected to everything else and you can get to anywhere, from anywhere, with a minimal amount of work is difficult to grasp until you get used to it. Being able to run a report without having to manually compile it is amazing, and not having to file hundreds of individual documents is miraculous. Collaborating with multiple people all doing different things and having everybody always on the same page is out of this world. But that's the world of FileMaker, and it is a fantastic world. It's been mine for 33 years. I'm still learning and I'm still having fun doing it. The different ways I'm showing of doing things are ones that I've seen repeatedly from beginners who haven't yet made that mental transition. Don't worry, we've all been there, and eventually we learn the right way. But I think it's fair to say we didn't always understand the why, which is, I hope this is something that the video and file will show you. Please note, there is rarely an absolutely right way to do something. If you take 5 top-level developers, give them a problem and let them solve it, all 5 will come up with a different solution. All of them will look at the others with interest, but all will say, yes, but mine is the best. All 5 will, however, see some technique in the other solutions that will stick in their mind and start them thinking, what if? Which is how we learn fastest. We're building a simple program to keep tracks of cars and their attributes, or specifications. With regard to the car, we have the make, model, and year. Attributes, we have color, trim, options, and wheels. Each vehicle can have multiple attributes, but we're going to set it at 6 of verse 3 versions. Version 4 has no such limitations. Each different way of doing things builds on the previous method and explains the advantages and/or disadvantages of doing that way. The example file is fully open, so you can get under the hood and see how it works, plus you can enter your own data. I hope you find it useful. One of the most common mistakes I see is people creating many fields to record different things, but all in a single table. Here we've got 6 colors, 6 trims, 6 options, and 6 wheels. Now, how do we know that 6 is the right number? Could be more, could be less. How do you know? How do you keep track of it all? How do you avoid having lots of empty fields that aren't being used? Well, using this method, you don't. You're restricted, limited, and it's not the right way to do it. Now, let's take a quick look at the relationship graph for this, and it's this first section here. Now, there are no relationships. The only relationship is a self-join, which gives us a list of vehicles. But other than that, this is completely and utterly the wrong way of doing things. If we go back and look at the data entry screen, we can see here we've got the vehicle. We've got 5 cars that we've entered, and clicking on any one of them will load. And these are the fields that are there. Now these fields are using value lists that we've just simply typed in. And we just simply select the value. And we build it up. But the bottom line is, too many fields is just the wrong way of doing things. You're restricted, you're not flexible, and you can't do anything with the data. So let's not do that anymore. In the second option, we've reduced the number of fields. We've got rid of all the extra fields, and we've simply got 1 field for color, 1 for trim, 1 for option, and 1 for wheels. Now these are repeating fields with 6 values, which means that it's 1 field, but you can enter 6 different values to it. Now here we're entering it, but the problem is that this is a repeating field. It's really just one field with the values separated by carriage return, and the values appear in the order that you've actually selected them. Repeating fields used to be the way in FileMaker we did things, but not anymore. So let's move on to option 3. In option 3, we've added a table for colors, a table for trim, a table for options, and a table for wheels. And we're going to enter the values, the different options for each of these options themselves, into the table so that they are permanently stored. And in the relationships graph, we can simply add new records to our data as we're working with the car. So we can just dynamically add new values. Now, as you can see here, we have the 4 tables, and then we've got the add options button, and at the bottom we have a list of all the options that have been added. And if you want to add a new one, you just type it in and it'll appear. But we're still using repeating fields. There's no difference, and it's still not the right way to do something. Now in version 4, we've gone much more complicated. We've added some table occurrences to add records to the different value lists. So if you enter a new value in this panel here, it will appear in the value list above. So for example, those are the values right now, and as you can see, we have 3 values up the top and 3 values below. If we type a new trim, you'll now see that that option is now available for selection. So this is a series of values stored in separate tables. And what we've done here is we've got a join table which links the cars to the options. And the join table is connected to the cars table, to the colors table, the trim, the options, the wheels table, and we're also able to add a new car if we need to, which is what this button here does. Now this is the right way to do things. When I say right way, it's relative, but it is a correct way of doing things, and join tables are something that you need to understand thoroughly and use. Now, using this same methodology, we can enter data in a data entry screen like we have here, or we can view it as a list. And if I unsort those, these are the entries we've made in. When I click on the header, it will sort by the car. We can sort by the color, by the trim, by the option, and by the wheel. And now we have the ability to really work with our data.